Howdy folks, it's Leo Old of Old. Well, literally just pulled over to the side of the road and I thought I'd have a cup of tea, relight my pipe and have a chat with you folks. Oh. Well, don't need to tell you what I'm smoking. It's my trusty companion. Yep, definitely become a convert to this pipe, to the Peterson system, particularly the bowl shape. I really love that bowl shape, and I love the way it hangs, and I love the way it smokes. What's not to like about a Peterson system? Huh. Very much a convert. And this will probably feature in a, what is it, a 3 pipes challenge that Kent, Wheel Piper, nominated me for, which I haven't yet done a video for, but I'm not going to do that one just at the minute either. But I'm smoking in it some Bad Nun 2, some of the meagre stash that I have left, simply because it's one of those days where I really wanted something special. So I'm just down the road from my house, literally just parked at the side of the road, so there'll be the occasional car that comes past, but I wanted to do a video from outside the house. I had to get out today. I just had to get out. I'm going absolutely stir crazy. So yeah, I never did really get on with living in 4 walls, and at the moment, with all of the other extenuating circumstances that are making life generally more day-to-day difficult, that being the COVID lockdown, I think the latest announcement today looks like we're certainly not going to get out of it any time before Easter. So there's no going out, socialising, meeting people, you know, it's just all a bag of shite. And the weather over the last little while, last few days or whatever, has just been atrocious. We had about, I think the news said earlier on today, we've had a month's rain in 2 days or something like that. So it's not even a particularly nice day for a walk in the countryside to explore. But I had to get out and do something, you know. So I've ended up driving in a bit of a loop-de-loop. Just exploring places that I can go and have a walk in. When it's not quite as shitty as it is at the moment. Ended up doing a bit of a figure of 8 from where I live. And there's some really beautiful countryside around here, I have to say. I'm really looking forward to exploring it more. And it's funny because I don't know any of the countryside around here, oddly enough. It's not a part of the, although it's the same county as I was living in up until the middle of 2019. It's the end of it that I'm really not very familiar with. But my mental health has been suffering over the last week, I think, really, with one thing and another, with this lockdown and the weather and, you know, being stuck indoors and stuff. I tell you what, it's remarkable how much just going out for a little while, as I have done today. I've not been out long, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, not even 2 hours, I don't think. And there's a couple of points that I've stopped at just to enjoy a view or whatever. And I've lit my pipe up and just stayed there for 10 minutes just having a smoke. This thing right here, this tool for the incineration and consumption of tobacco smoke. Incineration of tobacco and consumption of the smoke, I should say. There really is something about smoking a pipe that just makes everything better. I had a panic attack last night, quite a bad one. First time I've had one that bad for a while, actually. Just came on really suddenly out of nowhere, immediately after eating. Well, I was really struggling to breathe, you know, just felt like my respiratory system was just going to stop at any moment. It's a really horrible feeling. And my girlfriend's over for the weekend, so and I don't smoke in the house, in the flat when she's around, because I don't see her very often, and she doesn't like the smell of smoke indoors. So I went outside after I'd managed to get myself together a little bit. I went outside just on the porchway and sparked up and just stood there for 10 minutes in the cool night air, smoking. And it made everything better. Yeah, so let's just dump some of this ash out the window. Almost at the bottom of the bowl now. So yeah, pipe of good tobacco, cup of Yorkshire tea. I don't think there's a more British way of dealing with life's problems than that, really. Not having much success at keeping this last bit lit now. Just loosen that up a bit. So yeah, mental health, mental well-being. I've talked about it before. I think I was just listening to the radio actually as I was driving around for the last hour or two. There was a popular Radio 4 programme over here in England called Any Questions, where there's a panel of members of Parliament, politicians or experts or something like that, in one thing or another. They were invited on to talk about a range of issues, and the effect of the lockdown on mental health, well, on well-being in general, not just mental health, was naturally enough the subject of one of the conversations. And just hearing all of the people calling in, phoning in and talking about how the lockdown, how COVID over the last year or so has affected people's mental health is just astonishing, really is. I mean, I know it's affected my own dramatically. I have had some, bleak times recently. And it's been exacerbated without a doubt, by the fact that I can't go and see friends or family. I haven't seen my mother for, well, since sometime in 2019 now. And it's been a really hard time for everybody, and it continues to be a really hard time for everybody. I'm very glad to have seen a few people have done these video responses to, who was it? Forgive me, I forget the name of the YTPC presenter, but he did that video, A Call to Care. There's a lot of camaraderie in this community, regardless of politics or location, geographic location, or background, religiosity or lack thereof, whatever else. And it's really encouraging to see, and I think we need a lot more of that. We really, really need a lot more of that in our society as a whole. And I really hope that as we come out of this period of COVID worldwide, we remember those aspects of humanity, those traits of humanity that we all share, that every single one of us share. And all of those lessons that we've learnt during these lockdown periods in our respective countries. And we do remember in the future that there is a lot more that we have in common with each other than that which divides us. And don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of it myself. There are people in this world that I cannot stand with a vengeance. I'm kind of always on the side of the underdog. I think that's a trait of us lefties, as somebody told me I was the other day. Parsimonious Piper, that was it. Thanks for the shout out, buddy. He said I was left wing. Well, I'm certainly not right wing. I I consider myself to be anarchist socialist. I'm very much more of the Noam Chomsky school of thinking, Mikhail Bakunin, Emma Goldman, Kropotkin, people like that. So I don't really identify myself with the left either, but I'm certainly not a communist. But in any case, a lot of what causes these schisms between us is actually that's whipped up by the press, by the media. That's what leads to populism. Dog whistles. But anyway, I digress. The point is, one of the things that this lockdown teaches us is actually kind of brings us all down to the same place, really, in a lot of ways. Everyone's in the same boat. What that does is it generates empathy. To me, that's the vast difference between the left and the right. The right, empathy is not high on their agenda. It's social Darwinism. Survival of the fittest, all that bollocks. Anyway, what I hope, what I aspire for, is that after all of this is over, when everyone's vaccinated, and isn't that a contentious issue in itself? Unbelievable, unbelievable. That'd be interesting to try and light that. Nope. What'll be interesting is when all of this is over, if everyone from their respective sides of the political spectrum will remember the degree of unity that we were all, to one extent or another, forced into. But alas, there's one thing that I have witnessed throughout my life, is that the mistakes that we make today are the same mistakes that have been made throughout history ad nauseum. We are little more than animals, responding to animal stimuli. But anyway, we shall see, we shall see. That is a fantastic cup of tea. God, I can't beat Yorkshire. That is a fantastic pipe of tobacco. I think I've been chonging this thing now for an hour and a half straight. Occasional relight here and there, but still going. Yeah, it's not an enormous bowl on it either. Last night I loaded up my second largest pipe, Northern Briars Bulldog, Group 4, with some marlin flake, with the intention of going out somewhere today, finding one spot, sitting down and smoking it from beginning to end without moving. But alas, it was not to be. However, that's done the job nicely. So now I'm sitting here basically just putting off going home. Trying to enjoy what little of this miserable sodding day can be enjoyed from the comfort of my car. I live in the place where I live, just outside of Axminster. It's on the confluence of two rivers. The River Axe, from where Axminster gets its name, and the brilliantly West Country named River Yardley. And there's this floodplain basically in the valley, in the Axe Valley, that I mean, geez, even in the summer at the best of times, I remember driving past it many times, looking and thinking, geez, that's flooded. Well, now it's just all underwater. It's fantastic, but it makes navigating the roads around here a little bit sketchy because a lot of them, you know, get flooded. It's a really nice part of the country, though. Well, that's my ramble. 23 minutes off. It's going to be a long video. Long video with me not saying very much, but just a couple of thoughts that are running around my head anyway. And on that note, you folks take care, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. I might do another video when I get back. I might do the 3 pipes video that Kent nominated me to do, but I've got to think about the nominees as well. Most of the nominees that I was thinking of have either already done it or probably don't watch my videos anyway, so they wouldn't see that I'd nominated them. Anywho, take it easy, folks. Look after yourselves, look after each other. Don't let the bastards grind you down. And I will see you all again real soon.